Here's what I'm teaching my kids about investing. Investing allows you to have more freedom. This wouldn't be an investing series if I did not talk about how I'm investing for my kids and building generational wealth. For me, investing for my kids is not simply about putting money in the stock market and having it grow for them. I want to create generational wealth builders. I want them to have the mindset of a wealth builder. What I'm going to share in this episode are some of the things that I am doing right now, helping me shape these little wealth builders so that they can move on in their life and continue the legacy of creating more freedom in their life. Hey, welcome back. If you are just joining me for this series, this is episode 8. So if you haven't, go back and check out the previous episodes. My name is Tashika Ma'at. I'm a financial coach and the founder of John My Wealth Financial, and I help you keep more cash in your pockets and position it to wealth and create a life of freedom and ease. I'm excited about this episode because I've shared before my journey from paying off debt to then shifting to saving and then investing. My kids have been through majority of all of it. I would say my 18-year-old has definitely been through all of it. She's been through the debt phase, the saving phase, the investing phase. What I've learned, especially with kids, is that they learn more of what they see us do than what we tell them to do, right? So that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. A lot of what I've done with managing my money, especially on this wealth journey, is talking out loud about money. I've been talking about what we're doing, if we're saving for a vacation, how we're setting aside savings buckets so we can put money aside. If we were pulling back on certain expenses so we can shift money towards other activities. We were talking about those things out loud. And naturally, I noticed that my 18-year-old has picked up on a lot of this whenever we're going to, say, a concert or something that is outside the norm of our spending habits. Her first question is usually, what savings bucket is this coming from? It lets me know that she's definitely listening and paying attention to how we set up our money system so that we're able to build wealth for our future and enjoy life now. As you know, I'm all about, yes, let's build wealth, but let's not sacrifice ourselves in the process. I didn't start investing for my kids until my oldest was 13. So I've been actively investing for her for about 5 years. All of the money she was getting for her birthdays and gifts, I was putting into a savings account. I was saving money with the idea that, oh, I want to save money for them. So I set them up so that they're not starting in the place that I did going into college and things. But as I was going through my investing journey, I realized that I can't save my way to wealth, especially when I'm trying to build generational wealth. While saving money is good, I needed them to have their money working as hard for them as possible so that when they get to my age, they have half a million, $1 million already invested. I didn't initially start investing because I was on my journey, paying off 6 figures of debt and putting money towards my 401k. I started investing for them once I paid off a chunk of the debt. I shifted a lot of savings into investment accounts. The account I chose to open up for them was a UTMA account. It's essentially a custodial brokerage account where you can set money aside for your kids. Now, the thing about this account is, as you are putting money into that account, you are the custodian, but it belongs to your child. So any money you put into that account cannot be taken out because it is their account, but you are managing it and making sure that things are going as they should. Once your child reaches the age of majority, which is different depending on your state, that account will transfer to your child. I know I've heard some people say, I don't want my kids to have access to their investment accounts. I want to be able to hold on to it so that they're not just spending their money as soon as that large sum of money gets transferred to them. There are ways around it that you can set it up, like setting up trusts and things like that for your child. But just know that the UTMA account, you are managing that account on behalf of your child until they get to that age of majority. Now, there are other accounts that you can use to invest for your kids. One of them is a 529. And that's an educational account where you will put aside money for your kids to save for their education. I personally did not choose to go the 529 route simply because in the state of North Carolina, there isn't a state tax benefit to putting money into that account. Now, would it still have been a benefit given that I would be able to use that money tax free for educational purposes. Yes, but I did choose not to go that route. Now, with the recent changes to the 529 account, if your child uses some of that money for college, but then there is still an excess amount left over, you can now transfer some of that money into a Roth IRA up to a certain amount. That's a good benefit now because before it used to be for educational purposes or you would get taxed on the amount you use. Good benefit if you want to save up money for your child's educational purposes with the option to transfer any unused portion over into a Roth IRA because then you can start saving money for your child tax free. The other account you can utilize for your children is once they have earned income, you can actually open a custodial Roth IRA account. And as I've shared before, I love Roth IRA accounts because you're allowing your kids to set aside money tax free to grow tax free. And once that money grows into retirement, it's all theirs without having to pay one red cent to Uncle Sam. My favorite kind of account. The way that I am investing for my kids is we are being consistent and automating the investments towards their account. We're putting in money every single month for each of my four children. When my first three oldest were born, I was saving money for them, not necessarily investing. We did transfer their money over into investment accounts and then started putting in regular contributions each month to build up their investments. With my last child, he's probably going to be the wealthiest of us all because when he was born, I immediately started him with an investment account and started putting in money to build up investments over time. Now, the key thing about building wealth for your kids is one, I strongly believe that it's not enough to just put aside money into an account. I have regular conversations with my kids, especially when I'm checking their portfolio to make sure that transfers went as they should and that things are going accordingly. I have them check in and see what's happening with their money. One of the things I did with my kids when we were opening up their accounts is I did put majority of their money into an index fund, but then I allowed them to pick an individual stock, a company that they are familiar with. So most of my kids chose either Apple or Disney, Roblox as one of their accounts. My youngest son, I did choose Apple for him, but I did allow them to get involved in the process. So once we are reviewing their accounts, they can see, oh, they picked this particular company and helping them understand that they have ownership in that company. So when that company's revenue increases, they're getting an increase in their assets over time. And I love to have this conversation with them because I want them to see that they are just living their best lives, being kids, enjoying their everyday life, and they're still making money. I always make it a point for them to make that connection that investing is a way for them to make their money work for them, even when they're not. I want them to have this idea of ownership and how they can work smarter, not harder. If they choose to work a 9 to 5 job or have a business, that's on them. But I want them to understand that they have options and how they choose to make income, whether that's through investing in the stock market, real estate, having a business, having a 9 to 5, having all of the above. I want them to understand that there's not one size fits all, that they have to go through college and the end goal is for them to work a 9 to 5 job. I want them to understand the benefits of having more freedom and options with their money. What I want you to get from this episode is really understanding that investing right now, you're building for future, but you can also help build the next generation. Even if you are focused on your own investing, you can still open it up and sharing with your kids exactly what you're doing with the process. And then once you set yourself up and you're able to start investing for them. The key thing here I want you to understand is I didn't start investing for them right away. When I started my journey, I put my oxygen mask on first and made sure that I freed up that cash flow and I was able to get my investments to a point where I was okay that it would continue growing. Then I was able to start focusing on setting up regular contributions for my kids. So when you're setting that vision for yourself and for your life of what you want your life to look like, also include your family. What do you want it to look like for them? They're your legacy of what you're passing down. For me, it's more than just setting up money to pass down to them. I want them to have the principles and understanding that they can take back their power and have ownership over their time, make money work for them. and have money be a tool to creating more freedom in their life. So drop in the comments, let me know. Are you investing for your kids? Is that something that you have as part of your plan? And stay tuned till the next episode where I'm going to be talking about the power in positioning your income for wealth and how that is going to set you up for years to come. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And until my next video, here's to your financial freedom.